Once upon a time, a Mexican gang member lived in the heart of a dark and unforgiving prison. His life was a tapestry of danger, violence, and a constant battle for survival. Behind those cold iron bars, he experienced a world of unimaginable horrors. The shocking truth of his existence unfolded with each passing day. Ruthless rivalries, brutal betrayals, and the haunting reality of life stripped away. Join us as we peel back the layers and expose the raw, gripping truth about the life of a Mexican gang member in prison. Brace yourself for a journey into the realm few dare to enter. Mexican gang culture is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon with deep historical roots and a significant impact on contemporary society. Its origins can be traced back to the early 20th century when various criminal organizations emerged in Mexico as a response to political and socioeconomic challenges. These gangs, known as cartels, initially focused on smuggling and trafficking illicit goods, particularly drugs, across the border into the United States. Over time, however, their activities expanded to include extortion, kidnapping, and other forms of organized crime. The origins and dynamics of Mexican gangs can be traced back to a complex interplay of historical, social, and economic factors. Mexican gangs have their roots in the turbulent history of Mexico, marked by political instability, poverty, and a legacy of violence. The rise of drug trafficking and organized crime in Mexico has played a significant role in fueling the growth and influence of these gangs. The dynamics of Mexican gangs are characterized by a hierarchical structure with leaders exerting control over their members through violence and coercion. Gangs often engage in criminal activities including drug trafficking, extortion, kidnapping, and smuggling. They operate in urban and rural areas, with territorial disputes leading to frequent violence and conflicts with rival gangs and law enforcement agencies. Factors such as poverty, lack of education, and limited opportunities contribute to the recruitment and perpetration of gang membership, making it a persistent challenge for Mexican society and authorities to address the issue effectively. Becoming a gang member is not a decision to be taken lightly. It is a path that requires initiation and unwavering loyalty to the group. The initiation process varies from one gang to another, but it typically involves a series of tests and rituals that prove one's commitment and courage. These tests can range from committing acts of violence to demonstrating absolute trust in the gang's leadership. Such initiation rituals aim to weed out the weak and ensure that only those who are dedicated to the gang's cause become members. Loyalty is the lifeblood of any gang, and once initiated, it becomes the utmost priority. Behind the towering walls of Mexican members, in prisons, a stark reality unfolds where violence and survival become a daily struggle of incarcerated individuals. Within this unforgiving environment, inmates grapple with the constant threat of physical harm, navigating treacherous territories governed by an unspoken code of conduct. The brutal hierarchy within these confined spaces forces prisoners to adapt, become acutely aware of their surroundings, and constantly assess the intentions of those around them. Each day presents a battle for survival where the slightest misstep can have dire consequences. The pervasive tension and aggression force inmates to form alliances, seeking safety in numbers and finding solace in the camaraderie born out of shared hardship. Behind prison walls, violence becomes an ever-present specter, and the instinct to survive becomes a constant driving force in the lives of those trapped within this unforgiving system. Power struggles and violence are unfortunate realities within the prison hierarchy, making survival a daily battle for inmates. The prison environment is a microcosm of society where individuals with diverse backgrounds and motivations are forced to coexist in confined spaces. Within this volatile setting, power dynamics emerge, with inmates vying for control and dominance. These power struggles can often manifest as gang rivalries, territorial disputes, and resource fights. To navigate this dangerous landscape, inmates must align themselves with the group for protection or attempt to establish their authority through displays of aggression. Those who lack the necessary support or fall victim to intimidation may become vulnerable targets, facing harassment, exploitation, or even physical harm. Surviving the prison hierarchy requires a constant awareness of the shifting power dynamics and strategic maneuvering, and often compromising one's principles in order to stay safe. Addressing the issue of gang involvement requires a multifaceted approach that recognizes the underlying factors driving individuals to join gangs and focus on effective prevention and intervention strategies. It is essential to address the socioeconomic disparities and limited opportunities contributing to gang life's allure. Investing in education, vocational training, and job creation, and those programs can provide alternative pathways for young people, offering them hope for a better future. Additionally, fostering strong community relationships and promoting positive role models can help steer individuals away from the gang culture. Equally important is the provision of accessible mental health services and counseling, as many gang members often come from backgrounds of trauma and neglect. By tackling the root causes and providing comprehensive support systems, we can break the cycle of gang involvement and create safer, thriving communities for all. A Mexican gang member in prison reform poses a multitude of challenges while also offering the potential for transformative change in the criminal justice system. One major obstacle lies in the overcrowding and deplorable conditions in many correctional facilities. These conditions contribute to violence, poor mental health outcomes, and a lack of rehabilitation opportunities for inmates. Additionally, the high recidivism rates reflect the inadequacy of current strategies for reintegration and rehabilitation. However, there are possibilities for reform that can lead to positive outcomes, shifting the focus from punitive measures to restorative justice approaches such as community-based programs and alternative sentencing can promote rehabilitation and reduce the likelihood of re-offending. Emphasizing education, vocational training, and mental health support within prisons can equip individuals with the skills and support they need to successfully reintegrate into society. Collaboration between correctional institutions, community organizations, and government agencies is essential for creating comprehensive reform strategies prioritizing incarcerated individuals' well-being and successful reentry. By addressing these challenges and embracing the possibilities of change, prison reform can create safer communities and foster a more just and equitable society. Gangs beyond bars exert a profound influence on communities, permeating their social fabric and leaving lasting impacts. These groups, characterized by their criminal activities and organizational structures, operate within the shadows, fostering fear and instability. The tentacles of their influence reach far and wide, extending from urban neighborhoods to suburban areas, bringing violence, drug trafficking, and a pervasive sense of insecurity. Gangs often prey on a vulnerable individual or individuals, exploiting their desperation or lack of alternatives and recruiting them into a life of crime. This perpetuates a cycle of violence and victimization that affects the gang members and innocent bystanders caught in the crossfire. Communities grappling with gang activity face increased rates of homicides, robberies, and other crimes, leaving residents in constant fear and hindering the overall well-being and development of the area. Overcoming the grip of gangs requires comprehensive strategies that combine law enforcement efforts with the community engagement, education, and opportunities for social and economic empowerment to break the cycle and restoring a sense of safety. As our exploration to the life of a Mexican gang member in prison ends, we're left with a profound understanding of the harsh realities faced within those impenetrable walls. Through personal stories, expert insights, and eye-opening statistics, we've gained a glimpse into a world often hidden.